journal life. I'm outside in my car today because, oh, there's a mess going on at my house. We got workmen in there. We have a broken door. I've had a broken door for a while. We can't get it fixed. But anyways, that's not why we're here. Well, it is why we're here. But I wanted to still go live today, no matter what. Sorry if I'm bouncy. I'm holding my own. Um, but I have some thoughts about today. So I'm going to tell you a quick story. You know how you have those times where everything seems to be interconnected, where no matter what's going on, it seems to be related to all the other stuff going on? I'm kind of feeling like I'm in that place. And um, so lately, my husband is talking to me about his business, and he's deep in thought, and I've been deep in thought. And I realized that. Um, we all have these voices in our head, these things that tell us maybe we're not good enough, we're not what we should be, we're not doing what we need to be doing. Maybe they tell us we're lazy, or we're not thinking properly, or we're just not good enough. Where do those voices come from? Do we even know? I mean, these are my questions. So, realizing that I'm not the only one who has this happen, I figured I'd go through a little exercise with you today. So, honestly, when we get down to the bottom of my questions, you could draw this, or you could um, just paint it, or you could just write about it. Doesn't matter. So, we're going to do a little exercise. So, we all have voices in our head that tell us stuff. So, whether those are from teachers or parents or friends or just things we've heard out in the world, I'm not sure where those come from always, because they can come from any number of places. It could be a message from social media, or a TV show we watch, or a movie, or who knows, right? So, the first thing that you need to find out when you have these voices in your head that are saying things like, you're not good enough, your art isn't good enough, you're not a real artist. Oh, that's a good one, right? Um, the first question is, do you believe them? Do you really believe them? This is a journaling question. So, write it down. Do I really believe this? Is this something I really believe? Where did this come from? Who gave me this? So, what evidence do you have that it could be true? So, write down the evidence that it could be true. And then, if you want to counter that evidence and say, well, no, that can't be true, because you could do that. So, again, write down who they come from. I'm looking at notes here, so forgive me. Write down who they come from if you know. Do they just come from you, or other people, or wherever they came from? You could write that down. So, the first thing you're going to do is take your right hand and put it on your heart. I'm holding my phone with my right hand right now, so I'm going to use my left. But put it on your heart and breathe into the noise. Breathe into that. And what do you feel? What are you feeling? Does it hurt your feelings? Do you not feel good enough because maybe um, somebody didn't buy a painting, or um, whatever it is, whatever it is. So breathe into that feeling and ask yourself, can I just sit with this? Is this true? Is it even true what I'm saying in my head? Are these feelings even real? A lot of times we find out they're not. My next question is, what proof do you have? Do you have proof that this might be true? Write about that. What proof do you have? Do you make sloppy paintings? You look at your journals, you hate them? Um, or can you find the softness? Can you look at a journal that you have, for instance, and find the softness in that journal? Find the things you do like. What is it you're looking to accomplish with your journal pages? I'm just using that as an example, but this could be for anything. Um, so as you're sitting there with your hand on your heart, you can take a breath and you can see, is there an image that you associate with this noise in your head? I'm going to try not to even call it a voice. Sometimes I call them monsters, because I think that those are, what they feel like to me sometimes, but you could call it anything you want. Um, so if you can find an image for it or give it a color, paint that, do that, or color it, or make it, whatever, in your journal. Ask it what it wants from you. So now write, what do you want from me? And then answer that question. What do you want from me? Is there a place in your body where this lives? So for me, I have a lot of neck pain. So I always said that my monsters kind of lived over here. But yours could be anywhere. It could be in a hand, it could be in a foot. Yeah, I mean, it could be anywhere. Find out if there's pain associated or a place it lives. And ask it, oh, did I already say ask it what it wants from you? Ask it what it wants from you. Now flip this. If this were your best friend and the voice was saying it out loud to your best friend, what would you say to that voice? Would you tell it, hey, wait a minute, she's not so bad? Don't be so hard on her. I really love her. Whatever. Flip it. And what would you say to your best friend's voices if it was your best friend? Now take that image that you created, whatever image it was, whatever it looks like, if it's just a blob of color on a paper, that's all it needs to be, and shrink that down to a reasonable size. So if you've done it big, just shrink it as much as you feel comfortable doing. So it might be hard at first to shrink it, but shrink it down and see if you can quiet it a little bit. Keep playing with that. Maybe you turn a page and you draw it again and you shrink it a little smaller. Maybe you draw a little square on your paper, a little circle on your paper, and shrink it into something really tiny. Leave it like that. Once you get there, leave it like that and let it live, because these voices are trying to protect us. They are trying to keep us safe. They're trying to not let us put ourselves out in the world where people will harm us with their words, with their feelings, with whatever it is. So leave it. It's okay to keep this. Maybe transform it a little bit. Can you add a flower to it and make it not as scary, or put a hat on it, or um, put hair on it, make it something softer and more lovable, more useful for you. Now, I want you to thank it. I'm sorry, I'm reading again. I want you to thank it for helping you. So, in some way, do a little thank you. Write, thank you for helping me. Thank you for trying to keep me safe. I'll let you know if I need to hear from you. You could say to it, excuse me. So, all of us have these voices in our heads. And my voice, I wake up sometimes in the middle of the night, and that's my worst moment. Um, And that's what happened to me last night. I woke up in the middle of the night and I couldn't get back to sleep. So I get up and I start writing at that point. It's a great exercise to do, especially if you can't sleep. I leave the lights off, I write in the dark. Uh, if you have a pen, I know they used to have pens that light up. I used to like those pens. I don't have any of those anymore. But I just write in the dark with a pen or a pencil. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if you can't read it tomorrow, um, or whenever you wake up. Um, but I just write until I feel like I can stop writing, and then I put my head on the pillow and try to breathe into whatever I was thinking about and shrink it, make it friendly, and invite it to be smaller, and let it know that you'll keep it safe and you'll let it come out at some point, but only when you need it. Maybe you don't have to listen to those voices anymore because maybe they're not true. Is it possible that these things, these negativities that you're hearing, that they're not true? My guess is, if you're like me, they're not true. So those are my those are my questions for today. This is our exercise for today. This is useful anytime you have those moments of fear, of doubt, of anything scary, or if you hear those voices in your head like, I'm not good enough. I can't speak this. I don't know how to create this. I don't know how to do this. I don't want to do this for fear of what may happen, maybe. Anytime those things come up, this is a useful exercise for that. Okay, everybody, let me know if this works for you, how you feel about it, and will you write about it? Will you draw about it? All right, everybody have a really great day. I'll see you tomorrow, hopefully back in my studio, and hopefully it'll be quiet in my house for a little while longer. We are getting new floors, so we don't know when that's going to happen because, it's kind of one of those up in the air when they finish one job, then they go to the next. Could be any time now. We really don't know. I think next week, though. So until then, I'll talk to you tomorrow and have a great day, everybody. Thanks for being here.